Sounds pretty hard. Wow. This really is a tiny tent. This is the Vango Banshee 200 Pro. I purchased in, what, about 2020. And it really is, yeah, tiny. So I'm gonna get it fitted out with some kit right now. I'm gonna sleep out here, possibly just for the one night, just as a little bit of a break from the same four walls. Sadly, it's not the Lake District, it is my garden, but it'll do for now. So, first things first, I'm gonna stick my gym mat down because I didn't realise there's actually a stinging nettle about here. I don't want that. Stinging nettle, or I don't know. It feels sharpish. So that's there, that'll do. Then, nice little foil mat. Now I am actually considering about using this on my next wild camp, purely for the fact of how small it is. On my last video, when I was out wild camping, the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2 was awesome, really awesome. And yeah, I loved it, but I think I need a bit of a change. I think it'd be nice to vary it up a little bit. Now this pad does actually have its own built-in pillow, but I like a lot of pillows. So I've got my Trekology A-Love 2.0 pillow. That is one inflated and that is one deflated. I'm going to add this to add on to that to give me that extra height that I just so love. And the beauty with this pillow is it does actually have an elasticated cord at the back. Can just put, so you can strap that onto another one if you so wish. And then maybe I've kind of got a bit overkill on this one. And then sleeping bag, I'm going to go for my Vango Nitestar 375 Alpha, just because it's a good width. It's like 80, I believe it's 83 centimeters wide, which for someone of my build is about right. And yeah, that'll do for tonight because it's supposed to be quite warm anyway, so it's not like I'm going to need a major insulated sleep system tonight. Right, next thing is the chair. Beside me here is the Vango Banshee 200 Pro. This is a tent I purchased in early 2020 after previously purchasing the Vango Banshee 300 Pro, which is a slightly wider version of this exact same design. Now that Vango Banshee 300 Pro I took down to Somerset in, what, October, November time, 2019. And when I got down there, I didn't realise, but there was going to be a storm. And it was a brutal storm. It was like 30 to 45 mile an hour winds. And when I got down there, the people said, really, you've come camping in this weather? I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. But as the evening progressed, the weather got worse and I got in the tent and I was seriously thinking whether or not I should take shelter in the car because the winds were howling like crazy. The tent was blowing around and I really didn't think that the tent would last the night. But it proved me wrong. It did. So I was very impressed with the Vango Banshee 300 Pro. With wild camping in mind, I was trying to think about reducing my pack size, my pack weight even further. And I was looking at this tent and the idea just wouldn't go away. And I had to go out and purchase it out of pure curiosity. So this is the Vango Banshee 200 Pro and I've never used it outside of this garden. And that's because when I set it up in the garden to test it out first, I got inside and I went, oh, this really is quite small inside. And it feels quite claustrophobic. This is the reason why I say the fact that no tent is perfect. What suits one person may not necessarily suit somebody else, and all opinions are subjective. What I say, you can take it with a pinch of salt. These are just my opinions, and maybe yours differ from mine. And that's because when I got in the tent and I said it was claustrophobic for me, Doesn't mean to say it's going to be claustrophobic for you. Maybe you think it's ample room. So why have I set this tent up? Why am I trying it? Well, the tent's got a lot of great features. I love how quick and simple it is to set up. It's got 2 poles. As I said, the Vango Banshee 300 Pro stood up really well to those winds. This should be even better because it's smaller. It's more streamlined than the 300. It's got 2 doors. The inner and the outer all go up as one. A feature which kind of puts me off a lot of tents that are on the market. I looked at the Nature Height Cloud Up 2, and that seems to be a tent where you set the inner up and then you throw the outer over the top. Now imagine if you get to a place where you're going camping and maybe it's blowing a gale, maybe it's raining, you're going to get your inner wet before you get your outer thrown over the top. And that kind of puts me off a lot of tents. So this tent all goes up as one, so that's a definite plus point. I love the 2 doors. It's got a vestibule on that side. It's got a lot going for it. And also as well, you think about the fact that, okay, it's a little bit claustrophobic inside. Well, since I purchased this tent, I've reduced a lot of my pack weight, my pack size, even my camera is smaller. I'm now using a GoPro as opposed to a much larger DSLR than what I was using before. And of course, I want to film these trips. So I've learned since then to reduce the gear that I'm taking. So maybe when I close my eyes and fall asleep, maybe that claustrophobic feeling will go away. And that's what this is about, because I don't sell my tents, or if I do, it's very rare. And I'm going to persevere with it, because I've been on my first wild camping trip. I loved it, and I don't want to be using the same tent over and over and over again. The Nature Height Cloud Peak 2 is a great tent. It's not perfect, but then again, what tent is? So I'm going to persevere with it, with the idea of the fact that there will be a time when I go wild camping and possibly use this tent. And that's the reason why it's up.
Hello everybody, my name is Buster and I am an 8-year-old English Cocker Spaniel who lives in England, and this is my very first tent review. This tent my big brother got for me from B&M Bargains, and I really like it, and I'm going to show you around. As you can see, I can lay in this tent really easily. It's got plenty of leg room, which is good because I have 4 of them. But yes, this is a very good tent for me, being an English Cocker Spaniel. I've got a foam mat as my bed, and that's really comfy, and it also smells of me. The ventilation on this tent is also very good because it's got mesh all the way around. As you can see, this tent is very good for me. It's got good headroom because now I'm sitting up in it. It's very good. This tent costs £9.99 from B&M Bargains, and I highly recommend it. I like it, just as long as it's not raining. Thank you very much for watching, and if you found this video in any way helpful, please consider liking, leaving a comment and subscribing to this channel. It will help my master Paul very much. Thank you, bye bye.
Well, as you can see, it's very much still quite blue sky up there. It's just gone 10 to 10 at night, and it's time for bed. So I've got my Vango Banshee 200 Pro out. I did actually have this out last night. This, believe it or not, is my second night. And the reason for that is just before I went to bed last night, I changed my memory card over. Now, everything from that day is safe, but when I changed my memory card, I did a little bit of filming in the tent, and then woke up next morning, had a cup of coffee, went to go and take the tent down, and then realised that the memory card was corrupted, it was faulty, and there was no video that I could retrieve from it. So this is effectively take number 2, night number 2 if you like. Yeah, so this is my setup. I've got my 2 Trekology A-Loft 2.0 pillows. I've got my U-Sport pad, my Vango Nitestar 375 Alpha sleeping bag, and I've got my Zaffa Back Black 400 down quilt over the top, because it can actually get quite chilly at night. I've got my Quechua little lamp Just down the bottom there, I've got all my power banks, coffee, that sort of thing. I've got earplugs. And just outside here, I've got a bottle of water, gas canister, and then my Jetboil zip in there for a coffee first thing in the morning. Now, when I first tried this tent out, I was using my Trekology UL 140, which is quite a wide sleeping bag. And this meant that this area here, when you climb in, was very much diminished. Now I'm using a narrower pad, the U-Sport, which is about the same width as the Trekology UL 80. Getting in and out is still, it's a little bit easier than what it was before. Still not exactly easy though. Then to come down here, and then it is a Saturday, there's kids out there playing. Oh, there it was. There we go. That's the outer door done. And just bring the inner door. It's a little bit of a shame really that this inner door doesn't extend a little bit further over this way, because then it'd be easy getting in and out, but it is what it is. There we are. As I say, it is a little bit on the snug side. And what I tend to do on this sort of thing is roll into bed. Ooh. Okay, all in bed now. I'm really, really comfortable with these pillows. I do like my pillows, and I've also got a bit of a cold at the moment, so that does help. Now, with this sleeping arrangement, I'm 5'10". My head is always going to be touching this end, but I do have a problem with the fact that when I lay down on my back, the fact that my feet are pushed firmly against the bottom end. So I tend to roll onto my side and then just bring my knees up a little bit, and I find that extremely comfortable. I don't have an issue with the bottom at all in that case. So it is a little bit limited in that respect. I would sometimes like to lay onto my back and just push my legs down the bottom, but unfortunately with this tent it's just a little bit on the tight side in that respect, but it is what it is. I will show you down the bottom end of the bed now actually. As you can see, it's a little bit on the tight, cosy side. Ignore the Crocs, I know they're not very pretty to look at, but they're useful. So that is on my back, and then I tend to bring my legs up a little bit, and I tend to find that that actually makes it rather comfortable. So there we go, folks. Anyway, I'm going to stick my earplugs in next, and because this isn't a blackout tent, I have actually got my eye mask, my blackout eye mask, which is great because it is the middle of June. The sunrises are quite early. This morning at 4:30, you think it was the middle of the day in here, but it actually wasn't. So an eye mask for the sake of a blackout bedroom, earplugs because obviously dawn chorus, and there we go. I'm going to get some sleep, so I shall see you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's just gone, well, it's almost 6 a.m. in the morning. I slept really, really well. I think I woke up once, and that was only because I was talking in my sleep. Possibly even shouting at one point, which is a bit, hello. But I've been really, really comfortable. These pillows, I know they look excessive. I know it looks a bit, that's a bit over the top, but actually I've been really, really comfortable. I moved on to my back once, and yes, the issue of the length of the tent for me is a bit of an issue. But as I say, you sleep on your side like I am doing now, tuck your knees up a little bit, and you don't notice it at all. I think I moved about 3 times in the night. I've had a really good, deep night's sleep. which is good. My opinions of this tent have certainly changed over the last couple of nights. And tonight especially, really. Tonight has been really the kind of, yeah, I will definitely consider this tent for a future wild camp, which is good because I don't want to waste this tent. It is a good tent. It's got a lot of things going for it. And as I say, not every tent's perfect, and what may suit one person may not necessarily suit somebody else. And I think with this, it's kind of like I've had to change rather than the tent being changed at all. I've had to persevere with it, and I have done. And for that, yeah, I'm happy. Right, folks, time is ticking. It's Sunday, and I need a cup of cappuccino to get things started. So I shall see you outside. Well, I've moved to this side of the tent because the sun on that side is super bright, and it sort of cut the tent in half with sunlight and shade. So I've come over to this side, and I'm just laying here and looking up at the clear blue sky and listening to the birds tweeting, and got my cappuccino here. And yeah, I know it's my garden. It's not like the middle of the Lake District or the Peak District or the moors. But just laying here with the blue sky and the birds tweeting and just pretty much peace. That's good enough for me. Yeah, cheers everyone. There's a bird in that tree. Didn't even know I was here. I saw a bird and a plane literally crossing over each other. Obviously a lot of distance between them, but wow. Also, I was just watching the birds coming in and out of this tree over here and the planes flying overhead. I thought I'd have a little look at the condensation issue. And yeah, there is a little bit of condensation. That's to be expected, really. A little look between the outer and the inner. Everything seems okay, but I've got both doors open now, so that allows a nice stream of air to come through the tent to dry it off, because the last thing we want is a horrible, smelly, mouldy tent for the next time that I open it up. So having two doors helps the drying process, that's for sure. Well, it's now Sunday. I first set this tent up on Friday, thinking it was going to be a one-night video. It ended up being 2 nights in here. And my opinion on Friday was the fact that I like this tent, a lot of the features that it's got being compact, small pack weight, ideal for backpacking. But I didn't love it because for me, inside, and this is just a personal opinion, I felt claustrophobic inside and I didn't like that. It took a little bit of getting used to. It didn't help the fact that I was using a very wide pad, i.e. the Trekology UL 140. I'm now using a much slimmer pad, and that means getting in and out of the tent is a lot easier. And I like it. I actually like it in another way as well, because when I went for my first wall camp just a couple of weeks ago, when I was at St. Herbert's Island on Derwentwater with the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2, when you looked in the tent, I looked at what I actually needed, and it wasn't a lot. And I like that uncluttered approach to camping. It felt very clean and realistically how it should be. A lot of this stuff that we buy, and there is a lot of it, and I own a lot of it we just don't need. Some of it is good and it's useful, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is just ends up being clutter that we take on these trips and then end up don't using, and they get in the way of trying to find the things that we do need. And wild camping kind of forces you into that opinion of the fact that less is definitely more. And I'm beginning to like that approach. That's not to say the fact that there isn't gear out there that you definitely need. Things like my Sea to Summit X mug, I absolutely adore that. It's compact when it's folded down, but it's a good, useful product. Same with my Jet Boil Zip as well. It's a very small, but it works. And it's choosing the right gear that suits you and your needs. Camping is a very personal thing, depending on what sort of trip you're going on and the person that you are. So yeah, this Vango Banshee 200 Pro has definitely improved, in my opinion, in my book, and it's definitely a tent that I will consider for my next wild camping experience, which I'm planning now. I am scouting for locations. I'm looking for locations where I don't have to walk too far, that I can access a little bit easier perhaps. And yeah, this tent will definitely be high up on there of the 3 tents that I use for backpacking, which is the Vango Banshee 300 Pro. Hello, Buster. Your tent review was brilliant, by the way. Your tent review was very good. The Vango Banshee 300 Pro, the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2, and this, the Vango Banshee 200 Pro. I like them. They've all got their pros and cons, but yeah, this one's definitely improved on me. I still don't love it, but I like it a lot more than what I did on Friday, and that is a good thing. Right, folks, I'm going to say goodbye here. I'm going to thank you very much for watching. If you found this video in any way helpful, please consider liking, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel. And I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel and left a comment and liked. It really is an honour and a privilege to make these videos. They're hard work. The memory card that failed on me yesterday was not ideal, but it made me sleep out here last night, and I woke up and had a beautiful morning, blue sky, and it was awesome. So maybe it was for a good reason, really. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.